Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 is probably going to be a really bad game if you think about it.
It's not going to be bad.
Breath of the Wild 1 was just so good. It's so perfect. They can't improve it. It's just going to go downhill.
You're right. They're going to have to do a lot to improve it.
Yeah, we don't really think that it's going to be bad, but it's going to have to do, like, the impossible to be really good.
Like the title of the video, you know? Okay.
Yeah, this is Team Gaming, right? Now that you got that, make sure you like and subscribe, right?
You know, we see a lot of people who watch our videos aren't actually subscribed, you know. We have a sale going on subscriptions. They're free. Just subscribe. If you just find our content boring, you can unsubscribe later.
Yeah.
Alright?
Share and follow and all that other stuff.
You know, we got that out of the way. The stupid YouTube crap.
Like and subscribe again.
Right. Okay.
And
we're done. We don't have to tell the viewers to subscribe anymore. Hopefully they already did.
No, I was going to say the intro of the video.
Alright.
This is TMB Gaming, and this is how Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 will have to do the impossible.
Breath of the Wild is the 19th installment in the Legend of Zelda series. It took more than 5 years to develop, and it was released worldwide for the Wii U and the Nintendo Switch on March 3rd, 2017.
Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild really focuses on the open world aspect, and this time around, Link has decided to take up full-time cooking. His main dishes are the meat skewer, apple pie, and a bunch of elixirs that help you climb up mountains.
I'm supposed to eat this? Really? It's the most important dish of your life, guys. You see this? This is
Right off the bat with this Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, this game is not for people with faint of heart. It's gonna be a dark game. It's gonna have a darker theme.
Yeah, it's not gonna be Breath of the Wild 1 where you wake up and you go explore and you save Zelda and it's happy. It's gonna start off the opposite. It's gonna start off like how Link's flashbacks looked like.
Yeah, and they emphasize this too in the direct that they did on the game.
It's scary.
It's
there's
pretty
chills
scary.
to be had in that. Link and Zelda, they go and they find Ganon under the castle, and he doesn't look like he's having a good time.
But other than this, from watching the trailer, you can see that Zelda and Link have gotten closer, and you saw this in the memories in Breath of the Wild a little bit. Their bond got closer, they got more tight, you know? And you can also see that Zelda's getting more confident. She got a haircut, you know? That says a lot.
She got a haircut. That was pretty notable.
But this is something I noticed that was really interesting. Link, he didn't have a Sheikah slate.
Yeah, this is all just speculation.
Right, of course.
Theories going around that maybe there will be less Sheikah technology and there will be more of something else.
Like some sort of new ability.
Link is shown holding the kind of energy that the Zelda spell that was on Ganon.
Like the green stuff.
Yeah, he was shown like kind of having that all on his hand. And it looked like it was something.
So maybe some sort of magic powers can be implemented in the new game. Something like that. And this is also something little. Zelda, in the beginning of the trailer, she's riding some sort of water buffalo or Hateno cow or even a rhino. This could even be a new species, but this would be really cool. And if they added this in the Breath of the Wild 2 game, if you could ride something other than a horse, right? Because you could ride cows, you could ride, you know, water buffalo, and
yeah,
it just opens up the player's choice a little more. Some people don't like horses; they could be allergic.
Yeah.
So you know,
the horses' controls are also really not that good. Right?
Yeah.
That's quality of that.
They could touch upon that.
Another thing that maybe in Breath of the Wild 2, since Zelda is not fighting Ganon the whole time, maybe she'll actually be a playable character in the game.
But yeah, we'll touch on that a little later in the video, because there's a lot that I wanted to talk about that. To start off with Breath of the Wild, right off the bat, you see the scenery is breathtaking.
Pun.
Pun.
Yeah, Link starts off walking out of the Shrine of Resurrection. He walks out onto this mountain, and he sees a really, really nice view. He sees the Hyrule Castle, which was taken over by Ganon. Yikes.
Yikes.
You see Death Mountain. You see, I think, shrines, and don't you see, like, the towers? You see a lot of stuff.
No, the towers come later when you start like activating them, and then you have the cool cutscene where it like comes out of the ground and everything.
Yeah, the game just flexes on you with its amazing
Giant
scenery.
flex, and of course they flex their logo afterward, of course.
Yeah,
you
there
know.
we go.
But as you start to explore in the game, you see all of the different animals and monsters.
Yeah, deer to
Right.
bobcolins, to the skeleton things, to the little blue things that maybe allow you to die.
Foxes, different birds. I've seen a few ostriches. Just crazy variety. I never would have expected just so many animals in one game.
The music is also phenomenal.
Oh,
Very,
Yeah.
very
no doubt.
amazing soundtrack. I listen to it all the time. Just not
Yeah.
even when I'm not in the game, I want to listen to it. Just when you're being attacked, it's like you feel frightened. When you're just walking around, it has peaceful music.
Right, when you see a red beam coming at your face,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
music picks up.
Yeah, and you get scared and
And I even played this entire soundtrack editing this video.
Uh-huh.
It's amazing, and we're gonna have Breath of the Wild music throughout the video. Of course, you listen to whatever's playing right now. I'm not sure where I'm gonna put yet.
now obviously in Breath of the Wild 2, if they're gonna use the same map, they're gonna have to add a lot of stuff to it. So they could either make you go underground like you see in the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer. They can maybe add more civilizations, add more stuff in the places where there isn't anything.
Right, there's certain provinces in the game definitely where there's not really much to do, like
Yeah, just
I
empty
think
land.
unless I'm just missing something, like the jungle areas. I forgot the name of the province, but you go there and there's not really much to do. There's a hidden shrine there, I know I did, but other than that, there's just not really much.
Yeah,
They could add more villages, like you said. They could add, different caves and maybe just, I don't know, new stuff.
They're gonna have to rework it. They can't use the exact same map for a totally different
You
game.
see, they could.
It would have to be
Because
different.
the whole thing's Hyrule Castle and, just focusing on that whole area. But the game could use just something new, some more spice.
whole thing is taken over.
And this is something really big that I was thinking. They could add, this is going to come later in the video too. They could add diving gear to the game, and they could just open up a whole new aspect of underwater exploration. And you see on the map, there's quite a bit of lakes and rivers and the ocean.
Poor Link just drowns though. Unlucky for him.
Of course, you gotta max out that stamina.
Yeah. Something stamina is also really important for is climbing. And if you're playing Breath of the Wild for Nintendo Switch, you're going to be doing a lot of that. And if it's raining, you're going to be falling down that cliff. So you better have a lot of stamina.
You know what? I've been right in the middle of a big climb, climbing up a huge mountain. I didn't have Rivali's Gale, which sucks,
Yeah.
And I was going up that mountain. I was strong, and then you know what happened? It started raining, and I slipped all the way down that mountain. And you know what? I almost died from that.
Yeah, this is why they need to have Rivali's Gale be a full-time thing so Link could just permanently fly.
Well, you don't have to go that extreme.
Nah, I was just kind of
You could have something like climbing gloves, which allows you to grip onto the mountain,
That would be an interesting concept.
Or you can have kind of like a grappling hook or a rappel.
That could be a new ability along with his other stuff that he's gonna get in Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, there is climbing gear but it kind of just lets you climb faster. So in Breath of the Wild 2, they could add, the climbing gloves or whatever to help you climb better. Because the rain, a lot of people complain about it.
Yeah,
It's
it's
true.
kind of bad.
It gets in the way. Right. It does get in the way.
And we also forgot to mention when we were talking about animals and everything, you can't pet dogs. Now that's really
This is
bad.
a big
That's-
problem.
Yeah, that needs like scientists, and we might need to get the law involved.
If
and
Breath of the Wild 2 has any chance of being a good game, you have to pet dogs.
that's
And you can have a pet dog.
why can't you
it-
pet the dog?
It's just something so simple and they didn't include it,
1 out of 10 game.
Of course.
Don't buy it. Go
You
play
could
Animal Crossing.
spend, $30 on an amiibo, which is a wolf. You can have your own pet wolf, the little wolf link, But the problem is here that they're all sold out.
Yeah, you mean $300 on eBay?
Right, so you have to sit here on Amazon or eBay and you have to look through all these amiibos, and there's certain people that just bought them up and they charge more for it. This shouldn't be amiibo only content. It really shouldn't.
It should be in the game.
It should. All of you who are watching this video know, obviously, with all these animals and different monsters, you kill them, and you can go to these villages, like I mentioned before. You can sell the monster parts and food and whatnot, and this allows you to buy, different ingredients or even dye your clothing. In Breath of the Wild 2, I would really like to see if they added more things to these villages to allow you to customize your character a little more, like adding different things to your clothing, even buying jewelry, or putting different things on your weapons to make them look cool. Just imagine getting a cool sword from a shrine and you make it gold, or whatever color you want. That'd be really cool in the second game, I think.
Now, for the survival terms of Breath of the Wild, there's many things you can do. Instead of maxing out your hearts, max out your stamina and go on an absolute killing spree, killing everything and then cooking up everything and eating it. That's a very nice thing you can do in Breath of the Wild.
Right, and you could also go to the villages and buy the ingredients like I mentioned before, but if you're the type that you're just bloodthirsty, you just want to kill everything in sight, be my guest.
Yeah, and with survival, you need to wear your proper clothing or else you're gonna die.
Right, like I mentioned before, there's all these different environments, like deserts and different biomes,
volcanoes where you need to wear flame guard clothing, or there's top of mountains where you need to wear cold resistant clothing.
It gets chilly up there, in real life.
Freeze your butt off. And you can use certain bugs you find and cook them with monster parts to make elixirs, or you can just find other foods and make. There's a lot of types of paths you can go to make different types of food for different types of situations, like fighting bosses, fighting normal enemies, mountains, volcanoes.
Right, of course.
It's a lot. It's really flexible, and it really makes you think of what you're going to need for the future.
And this is what I like about the game, the Breath of the Wild period. You have the choice to survive the way you think you want to survive. If you want to hunt for food, if you want to just go to the villages and just buy everything on the shelves and survive on that. It's just whatever mix that you want, you can have it. You can survive the way you want to survive, kind of.
Yeah, and as you progress through the game, you're going to find better weapons, you're going to be doing shrines, which are going to make you either have more stamina or health, or both. And then you're going to be able to do more damage, defend yourself better, because you're going to have more shields. You're going to have more bow and arrows to hunt little critters.
Yep.
And you're going to be surviving, you're going to be improving, just using your mechanics.
And also, of course, you're going to be cooking up a storm, You took up you're a full-time chef now. You got to cook constantly.
If you see a little mushroom, you got to grab it. If you see a little bug, you got to grab it.
That's right.
You got to eat whatever you see.
You got to use every environment to your advantage in this game.
Ways they can ways they can fix this, or not fix it, but ways they can add on to this.
In Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, they can do other stuff, like add other things you can cook besides mushrooms. Like, what other things can you cook? Maybe, like, you could just, like, pick up grass, or
Just like herbs, that would be pretty cool. You have the other herbs, like the Hyrule herbs and like the Swift violets, whatever. Like, there's probably millions of different flowers. Maybe they could allow you to plant things. That would be really cool.
oh yeah, Link becomes a full-time gardener.
Yeah, of course.
The next episode, make sure you watch that.
You could plant your own wheat, you could plant your own rice, and come back to where you planted it, harvest it.
Maybe weapons and clothes could be durable if you take hits. Maybe weapons could be more durable. Maybe
You could add a concept where you upgrade clothing and tools with different materials that you find in the world.
yeah,
Like
well,
different types of stone, and they had different types of stone in the game, like the amber and sapphire,
you
but
could also-
you didn't really use it.
You can use the Great Fairy Fountain to upgrade stuff.
That too, but like
They should just expand more upon what they already have to make it more complex. It's already very good, but for the new game, they could either rework it or add more.
more variety basically is what we're getting at.
Fighting in Breath of the Wild is extremely satisfying. When it comes to what they're going to need to do for Breath of the Wild 2 for fighting, there isn't much. They're just going to need to implement new abilities and other stuff that Link is going to have to be doing in the game. Like, whatever that is.
What kind of magic can you think of? There's just so much magic that you can think of,
Yeah, that's for the game.
They did a really good job with the Sheikah Slate and the 4 main abilities, and I'm assuming they're taking that away since Link didn't have the Sheikah Slate in this trailer.
That's all assumption.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, well, they're not going to hear that. That's edited. Stop. So, when it comes to the fighting, it's extremely satisfying. When we're talking about dodging an attack, dodging one of the forward slashes or diagonal slashes, and Link will backflip it, and then you'll get this epic flurry rush animation where he goes bang, boom, bang, boom.
Yeah.
Or when you're paragliding above something, and you pull out your bow and it slows down time. And
Oh my god, it's so satisfying.
you have an arrow and you blow it up. It's very good.
Just can't be beat, really.
It's amazing. And then there's parrying, which is it's hard to time, but when you get it, it's satisfying.
So all these mechanics, they're not too complicated. You can get used to them pretty easily.
Like spin
You-
attack.
Yeah.
All the weapons fight differently. They all have the different combinations of moves. Like spear, you go jab, jab, jab. Sword, you would go slice, slice, and then different slice.
So
Spin slice.
the only thing they could really change in Breath of the Wild 2 is just adding more weapons, maybe like heavy bows, like that do more damage or something. I know they have like the fast shot bows and other ones, not many though, so they can definitely expand on how many weapons and different types of weapons are in the game.
Other than that, though, it's pretty perfect. It's, along with all the other stuff, one of the best parts of the game.
I won't go over this too much, but basically Link wakes up in the Shrine of Resurrection. He was asleep for like 100 years, and he discovers that Ganon just really messed up Hyrule Kingdom. He really messed it up. He meets up with the old man. Spoiler, it ends up being the deceased king of Hyrule, Zelda's dad, And he goes, meets the old man, and he learns that 10,000 years before, the machines like the Guardians and everything were made, and they were used by another hero and another princess who beat Ganon. But throughout the ages, the knowledge about the technology was lost until they kind of got it back again, and they started using it more, and then Ganon came around and he just took the machines for himself. Now, this is where the champions come in. The champions were chosen to control the divine beasts. There's Mipha, there's Daruk, Urbosa, and Revali. You know the whole deal. And while all this was happening, Zelda was trying to get her sealing powers back to just seal Ganon away. So like I said before, Ganon takes control of the Guardians and Divine Beast to use against Hyrule, and as a last resort, Zelda placed Link in the Shrine of Resurrection, and she used her new sealing powers to trap herself with Ganon in Hyrule Castle. This is a pretty well written plot. In the second game, I'd definitely like to see Zelda in the plot more as she's becoming more confident. You know, maybe you can play as Zelda in some parts of the quest. Maybe you can exchange weapons between Zelda and Link. I just feel like they should embrace Zelda in the plot more, and you can play as her. And I have hope for this. Like in the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, you see Zelda becoming a little more confident. There's room for her to squeeze just into the plot and into the story, and finally you could play as her. I think that would be a really cool concept in the second game. Along with the plot, we have, of course, the 4 champions and the character development of all these characters. Generally, I feel the 4 champions, they complement each other. That some of them, you know, you have Rivali, who's arrogant, you have Mipha, who's really reserved, and you have her hidden feelings for Link and how she doesn't tell Link up front. You kind of have that. You have Daruk, which is really friendly, and he's playful. He tries to lighten the mood. You see these all throughout the memories. But now you have Urbosa. In my opinion, she's definitely the best written character in the game. Urbosa, she's first introduced to the player when she's cradling Zelda in her arms. She's just asleep, and she's shown to be the motherly figure that Zelda is shown to lack in this plot. Yet, she's also the fierce and strong leader of Gerudo, and this kind of just contrasts each other, but it's a really good, really well written character. And you also see her play jokes, like when she wakes up Zelda with her fury, and she admits to taking the fight against Ganon personally, because, you know, Ganon is from Gerudo. Ganon kind of taints Gerudo's name, in a sense. Other than this, you have Zelda. Zelda is shown to kind of not embrace what's meant for her in the Destiny. She's really not interested in finding her sealing powers. She's not interested in beating Ganon. When it comes down to it, she really just wanted to be... Her biggest interest was nature. You see this all throughout her diaries, or even in the memories, you see how she's more interested in wildlife and just history in general. And you have Zelda's father coming around and saying she's a failure, and I feel this is really well written because you definitely feel bad for Zelda. You feel something when, you know, the king comes around and tells his daughter that she's not doing a good job. I feel that's really well written. And now in the second game, you can see this plot progress, and you have a more confident Zelda in the plot, and you can see her taking the lead, and you could even play as her. I think it would be a really nice change in the second game.
Other than the main quest, other stuff Link can do includes regathering his captured memories that he lost 100 years ago. When Link was put in the Shrine of Resurrection, that zapped all of his memories away. And now, what was the old lady's name?
Impa, I think?
Impa gave the pictures to Link, and now Link has to go travel to those places and re-get all of his memories.
Right.
Retelling the story 100 years ago.
And, you know, there's a lot of other things you can do in this game. You can get all 900 Korok seeds if you're into that.
Oh, yeah.
And those can allow you to extend your inventory. You have all the side quests. There's 76 of those. There's 120 shrines total, and there's 42 shrine quests, and some of those they're hidden shrines. You have to do some puzzles, and the shrine will appear.
Yeah, open world puzzles.
Right.
There's just a lot of extra content that can be done in this game, like getting all 900 Korok seeds.
900, but the thing is, I don't feel it's totally worth it. I don't think if you spend, how long will it take to find 900 Karuk seeds and your reward is just more stuff in your inventory,
More swords to throw at the enemy.
Right. In the second game, but what I want to get at is the whole window for underwater exploration, bless you,
Thanks.
and the underground exploration. You can add like underwater shrines, you can add like special shrines underground, or maybe they can introduce like a special type of shrine that they can, I don't know, just they could use something other than just shrines and the resurrection towers is what I'm getting at.
Maybe in Breath of the Wild 2 they have all the places rebuilt up and there's now cities and stuff, and maybe there's more people there and more quests you can do for these people,
right,
to get Karuk seeds and use them maybe to trade in for gems or other currency, or
not even just for Karuk seeds. This just opens more for more side quests, and you could have different people in the village selling different things, like I don't know, more vendors for armor, or they could add like jewelry. Like in Gerudo Village, there's like a jewelry shop and everything, and I went in there, I was hoping like, really, you can like, Link can have some jewelry, you can have like a Rolex watch, that'd be sick. And then I go in there and it's like, oh, business is slow because of the Divine Beast. Like, it was kind of a letdown. So in Breath of the Wild 2, they could really use some more player customization. I think if they went that route, the game would be really good. It would be an upgrade from Breath of the Wild, the original.
just remember, with more people comes more hidden Yiga clan members and more
Oh,
scary dialogue
of course.
nice weather tomorrow, you won't get to see it.
Now, getting into the DLC, you have 2 DLC packs. The first DLC pack, you have the Master Trials, you have the Trial of the Sword, Hero's Path mode, it tracks Link's steps within the last 200 hours, you have Master mode, you have the Travel Medallion, the Karuk Mask, Majora's Mask, Midna's Helmet, the Phantom Equipment, and Tingle's outfit. Now, you may sit here and think to yourself, does this really need to be DLC content? Why pay what? Do you get them both at once? You can get the expansion pack
for
$20
you can get both packs.
But Master Mode, right? It's a harder mode of the game. Why should you have to pay for that?
It should be in the base game.
Of course. The player should have the choice to, set your difficulty like you would any other game. And in Pack 2, the Champion's Ballad, you have the Champion's Ballad main quest, and you get all this backstory for the champions, and this is what I didn't like. You fight each of the Divine Beasts, not the Divine Beasts, the
Ganons.
the Ganons, the Fireblight Ganon.
Yeah, you
Thunderblight.
refight them again.
Yeah, you fight them again. I really would have liked for them to come up with new bosses, and I get, with this concept, you couldn't really make new bosses, and,
To follow the story.
Right, they had to follow the story, so they had to reuse the bosses, I get that, but just paying $20 for it, I expected a little more. And the rest of this pack, you had the Master Cycle Zero rune, you had Ravio's hood, the Royal Guard uniform, Phantom Ganon armor, Zant's helmet, Ancient Horse gear, right? But I just feel like in the base game, they should have included more, like, special armor that you can go and find, It was just kind of a letdown for me, and I hope in the second game, the DLC is just it's more interesting. They come up with more unique ideas, more unique bosses, other than just fighting 4 Ganons and then one big one at the end, I feel they could do more. Now, we mentioned flaws throughout the video, but there are some that we forgot to implement, and, they're definitely worth mentioning. First off is I find the title screen to be kind of bland.
Okay,
go
so
ahead. Yep, we're gonna argue about this now.
so I disagree. I think the title screen is very good in terms of looks. It doesn't have music, which I do
it doesn't
agree.
have music. You're right.
I do agree, but the art they show, I really did enjoy, and I think is a very good title screen.
You know, it's cool art. It's, you know, it's a basic title screen layout, but I feel like they could seal the deal more if you showed Link riding a horse and
He's
fighting guardians and everything.
That's literally there. In the
other
art.
than just scrolling through the official art, and there's no music.
Yeah, there's no music. That's.
And now you have the other flaws. Some of the stealth missions throughout the game can be annoying. Like, specifically, I think of the one mission in the Karuk Trials where you have to follow the Karuk through the forest. And, you know, if you get seen because the Karuk gets scared, he thinks he sees a ghost, you have to restart the whole thing.
Yeah, there's also the one in Gerudo Valley where with the Yiga clan, if you mess up, they instantly kill you, and it's like you kind of can get impatient because you have to be, you know, very patient during that sequence. So
right, and these are just some things that people complain about, like climbing in the rain that we already went over.
Yeah,
there's the whole stamina thing.
I like the stamina mechanic.
There's also people complaining about weapons easily breaking. Now here's the thing. You're in a survival situation, you know, and you have a sword. It's gonna break eventually. And, you know, what? Every day in Breath of the Wild is like...
24 minutes.
How many minutes? 24 minutes, right?
I believe.
You really can't have the same sword forever. Theoretically, it just has to break sometime.
It could be more durable.
But it could be a little more durable.
This system also encourages to use a lot of different types of weapons, mix it up a lot every single time you fight.
You're right. So I think in the second game they should just introduce different weapons that are, you know, more durable than others.
A rebuild mechanic.
And a rebuild mechanic would be pretty cool.
They had some stuff where you can like get the Falcon's bow again if you were to trade into that one. There was one person in Rito Village where you could trade and then you
could actually do that with each of the new champions.
Oh, you could.
You go there. You I was looking the other day and you can get the Daybreaker again, the shield.
Oh, okay.
Right. So you can do all.
But
of
that's
those.
only with those weapons. So.
Right. So it should be more.
Yeah.
In the second game, and you know you have the inventory is full business.
That's
pretty annoying.
You
could all agree.
You'll see that.
You know, I was starting off the Champion's Ballad main quest. I'm in the Shrine of Resurrection. I'm hyped, and they hit me with the one-hit obliterator. They're like, "Here, go pick it up," and look what happens. Just look for yourself.
Your inventory is full.
It's full.
There should really be an option to just remove something. I shouldn't have to go out, exit, and then go in.
Like, you know, I'm gonna compare this to Animal Crossing. They're like, "Oh, your inventory's full. You want to, you know, take something out really quick?" And you're like, "Sure." And, you know, they can do that in Breath of the Wild. It's just something simple.
Your inventory is full.
Yeah.
Alright, you want to go over the frame rate and graphics? You want to talk about that?
So, you also have the whole deal with... I don't think the game is at its full potential on the Switch, as in frame rate and graphics, because they did release it for the Wii U and the Switch at the same time. And, you know, the game took more than 5 years to develop, but you have all these new people going to the Switch. Like, of course, the Switch version should be a little better, you know, higher FPS, better graphics. And
it's just a lot of the same. That's what people usually don't like about it. I think it's okay, but I can understand.
The gyro puzzles are kind of awkward. Those are the puzzles where you kind of like move your controller around and like tilt it. Those can be really awkward and annoying. And lastly, I want to cover how
Do you want to cover the easy final boss? Is that what you want to talk about?
Actually, yeah, we need to get to that.
Well, there's all this stuff right here, so...
Yeah.
Which,
Go ahead, start it off.
Yeah, so his, not mine, like, is that once you do all this stuff with the champions, the final boss is pretty easy. And, like, we're talking about the,
Calamity Ganon.
Calamity Ganon.
Right.
People, you know, he's really easy. You can beat him in, like, 5 seconds, like, pretty much. But I think this is fair, because if you don't do all the other stuff in the game, and you just go straight to Calamity Ganon, then you have to fight the other 4 Ganons and a full health Calamity Ganon. So I actually think it balances itself out depending on what you choose in the game.
Yeah, you're kind of right in that sense. And what I wanted to cover is how the DLC for this game was released pretty much quick. Both DLC packs were released in the same year of release. So the game was released, and in the same year, both packs were released. Now, I feel they could have taken way more time with the DLC and made unique bosses for the DLC. They could have added more, but I feel the DLC was kind of rushed.
It's
And,
okay, but it could be better.
You know, we're at a huge cliffhanger with Breath of the Wild 2 when it's coming out. There hasn't been a direct in almost a year.
Nintendo is
So-
trolling us.
When Breath of the Wild 2 does come out, I just hope that they take a little more time with the DLC and they make unique bosses in general and add all of these, you know, all of the things that we've mentioned, what we'd expect from the game and what we want added to the game, how it can be improved. So
But
in Breath of the Wild 2, they could take these, you know, village ruins, since just Hyrule was just ruined by Calamity Ganon. In the second game, they could have it so these areas were rebuilt, and the villages that were already there, you know, they're like upgraded, there's more things to do, there's more vendors, different buildings. They can just, since I'm assuming they're going to use the same map, they could take that map and just add more things to it, at least. Breath of the Wild 1, the original, was seen as a perfect game by pretty much everyone who's played it. There's flaws here and there like we went over, but it's going to have to do... Breath of the Wild 2 is going to have to do a lot to make it better than the original. That's really all we wanted to talk about. It was a long video. We got through it all.
Yeah, we did it. It's probably like 40 minutes as you're looking at the video timer. And I hope you enjoyed. We're gonna do more stuff like this. Make sure you like and subscribe to YouTube
The
stuff.
whole deal, of course.
Please do it. Please. We want to do more stuff like that.
Right, check out our other videos too. We didn't do many videos like this, but we're definitely gonna do more like this in the future.
Quantity is gonna go up.
So if you want to see more videos like this, definitely consider subscribing. That's it for today. Peace out.
Adios.